All right, that's good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin.
We'll hope missing one.
Everybody here, who are we missing? Son of a gun.
Right in the wrong seat here? I had to talk to the money. I had to talk to the finance guy for 2 minutes. I'm trying to get some money.
Bob's trying to confuse us here by
Trying to get some money from Sylvia.
Don't take the wrong seat because then the administrator doesn't know what's happening. Adequate notice of this meeting, ladies and gentlemen, of July the 26th, 2012, has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting written notice and agenda of this meeting on the bulletin board in this municipal building, 1000 Route 10, Whippany, Township of Hanover, and by hand delivering and mailing or faxing such notice and agenda to the following newspapers: the Hanover Eagle and the Morris County's Daily Record, the Star Ledger, by filing same with the Township Clerk. We have a roll call.
On roll call, Committeeman Schleifer.
Here.
Committeeman Ferramasca.
Here.
Committeeman Bruno.
Here.
Committeeman Capola.
Here.
And Mayor Francioli.
Here.
5 members in attendance, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. Would everyone please rise and join me in a pledge of allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Well, it comes as no surprise to anybody why we're here tonight. I mean, the most important portion of the meeting is about to begin right now, and I'll tell you, Hanover's so proud of so many things. Not to get wordy here, but you know, we're so thrilled over the fact that we're now back in the top 10 of the best places to live in the state of New Jersey, and that's a wonderful thing. And we're going to do better than that in a little while. And we're going to continue on the growth. Somebody also said that one of the newspapers reported that we're probably 9th in the state of New Jersey as the best place to retire to. You guys don't have to worry about that yet. You got a little bit of time. You got a little bit of time. But that's a nice thing, too. But I'll tell you what's really a nice thing is what's happening right now. I can't tell you how proud all of us on the Township Committee, all of us in the community are for the feat that you just accomplished down there in taking on Little Egypt. How bad was it? Were they really upset? You know. But in any event, you know, we were at a function not too far from the high school that one Thursday night when you played up here, just before going down into South Jersey for the playoffs, and we could hear the commotion from over at Dick Kitchell's house. You know, so you really did a phenomenal job as usual. We are so very proud of you. But we have several awards for tonight. We have another award that we'd like to get into tonight, and we're going to start right now with the mayor without his glasses and nothing to read here in Braille. Okay, but what we're going to have now, Lauren has done a exceptional job in javelin, and Lauren was 5th in the state of javelin in the meet of champions. New Jersey Group 1 state champion in javelin, 3 times state sectional champion, 2 times NJAC North Jersey Athletic Conference champion. Don't mess with Lauren. Lauren, where are you? Yeah, outstanding, absolutely outstanding. And you had a great coach, you know, Coach Callahan, mayor's nephew. So in any event, and I know Bob Bruno would like to say some words of congratulations to you as well. So I'm going to, Bob.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, maybe an additional introduction. We are honored to be able to recognize some of the very successful young ladies here from town, and we did have the Morris County soccer champion Memorial Girls team here back in January. The North Jersey Section 1 girls basketball team was here. I believe it was in March or April. And now we've got the softball team here and another highly decorated young lady. So maybe it's a little bit of a rhetorical question, but where are all the successful boys in town? We don't really expect you ladies to answer that question. Maybe you can ask why they aren't working quite as hard. Now, the first award we're going to bestow is an individual award, as the mayor has already mentioned, and Lauren has had quite a career. It's almost like a lifetime achievement award in many ways. I think Lauren's got 12 varsity letters, is that true? Incredible. Soccer, 4 years, varsity captain, 4 years of basketball, 4 years of track, and then, of course, as the mayor mentioned, not only the state Group 1 champion in the javelin, but also number 5 in total in the state in javelin. In addition to that, the Girl Scout Gold Award winner, and Lauren will be studying at Columbia next year. So, Lauren, congratulations on all those accomplishments, and I'm sure there'll be more to come.
Proud, Lord, who's assistant coach.
In addition, there's an award from the high school that Mr. Kaiser wanted to present, and perhaps we'll ask him to come up. Mr. Manning want to join us as well?
No, Mr. Kaiser's got it.
I first want to say, since February 1st, I've had the opportunity to be the acting athletic director, and I was absolutely spoiled. So if you guys think that they're going to be coming here every single week because of me, I got bad news for you, because there's a lot of talented athletes in front of you guys. But Lauren wasn't able to get to the board office the night we gave these out and honored the softball team, but a little plaque in honor of from the school, from the Board of Education, Whippany Park High School, girls track javelin. And again, if I sat here and tried to sum up what Lauren's done in high school, we would be here till about 12 o'clock tonight. But very simply put, 2-time conference champ, 3-time state sectional champ, 2002 Group 1 champion, and 5th place in the entire state of New Jersey. Congratulations.
Coach Callahan's not with us tonight? No. Is somebody going to?
That's the other.
I'll get it to him, because I'm going to see him on Monday.
Okay. Ladies.
You want me to come down and help with me?
I wanted to say a few things. Come on. We just discussed this.
We'd like to present each of you with certificates from the Township of Smoke.
I was going back to the microphone, Mr. Mayor. I have a few more comments to make.
I'm not finished yet. He went back to his details.
We discussed this 10 minutes ago.
You can work your comments.
I'll bring my notes and I'll speak loudly. And I have to say a few things about these young ladies. In addition to giving them a T-shirt and a certificate, there's a few things I'd like to say. And since I've got the podium here, I'll take a few minutes. First of all, the coaches, Todd Callahan, Sarah Holland here, and Nicole Yanada. Tremendous job by the coaches. I know they started working probably right around March 1st. Practices before school. You know, a lot of hard work and dedication goes in, great coaching staff. But I think we also want to recognize the parents. Girls, I know you appreciate everything your parents have done, and certainly you wouldn't be here without them, both figuratively and literally, but maybe you can turn around, just give them a big thank you. I'm sure you've done that on occasion, but they certainly deserve the recognition. Now, a few anecdotes from me, since I know most of the parents and how hard they worked to get the girls into this position. First of all, my former neighbor, Joe Musserino. Hannah is the youngest of 5 girls, and when Hannah was born, I'm not picking on you, Hannah, I said, Joe, you need 1 more, and you'll have a complete infield, including the pitcher and the catcher, right? You got to go for 6. He said, no, I got a basketball team. I'm all set. 5 is it. And I think Terry might have had a little input into that as well. But Joe did a great job coaching Little League, coaching the travel team, a lot of practices, traveling down to all those tournament games. So, you know, one of the parents who had a lot of input into the success of this team. Jen Sanislow's mom, Lauren, coaching the All-Stars with Sharon Gleitman, all those years, coaching Little League, coaching the travel team. You know, this success didn't just start this year. This didn't just happen by chance. There's been a lot of parents who put in a tremendous amount of time. Certainly not looking to exclude anyone. And my friend Jim Simon, who's in the back, I I got to recognize Jim for all the time he put into Little League. Jim and I sat through endless, countless 3-hour Little League meetings, sometimes longer. We get to the end of the night, 5-10 minutes, we talk about softball. The whole meeting was baseball. Notice no baseball players here. But Jim did a tremendous job. We would then, after these endless meetings, we'd email each other all week and decide what we wanted to do with the softball team. But Jim started the girls' t-ball back when these girls were 5 playing t-ball. So a lot of unsung heroes, and Jim is one of them. And last, certainly not least, Eileen Citrullo. Is Eileen here? Oh, for goodness sake, Eileen, where's the cowbell? Now, not only did Eileen bring the cowbell every game, and everybody was excited to hear the bell ring, but the last game of the year, the big at bat with Brianna, got the game-winning hit, as everybody here knows. But beyond that, Brianna, your mother, running around in the outfield. You couldn't be contained. And it's a good thing you only hit a double, because if it was a home run, you would have run all the way back to Cedar Knoll. Traffic on the Garden State Parkway would have been a complete mess. But the parents, very dedicated, did a tremendous job both coaching and supporting the girls. Now, just a little bit on the team's accomplishments. First of all, number 4 in the entire state of New Jersey. For a little Group 1 school, that's just tremendous. 29-1 record, conference champions, number 2 in Morris County, and the recipients of the Harry Noack Award. Didn't know what that was until I read about it. It's given to the softball team that best represents the spirit and competition of exemplary sportsmanship. So another great award for all of North Jersey. So tremendous job, girls, and the team accomplishments. And then one player I think I just have to recognize is Jen Sanislow individually for individual accomplishments. Second team All-State. Jen, you deserve first team, but we'll take care of that next year. Player of the year in Morris County. I think every starter on the team, or maybe everybody on the team, made all-conference. Was that the case? Everybody on all-conference? Just about. Anyway, tremendous.
Don't all answer at once.
Don't all answer at once. Okay. That's it for me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for indulging me.
All standing up. There you go.
I would have taken more time, but they were all
ladies here. We'll announce your name.
One at a time.
Come on up for a photograph and take your certificate and it's a shirt. You get the mayor's same wording with the shirts. Don't use them in hot water.
All right. I tried to get a makeup kit, but it wasn't in the budget. Ashley Balad, come on up.
Girl.
Sarah Vlayadis. Brianna Citrullo.
Nice work. Very nice. We're proud of you.
Alexa Casarelli.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very nice.
I like Photoshop.
Brittany. Is Megan here?
Negative. That's a negative.
Allison?
Very good. Kimberly.
Oh, Kimmy.
Yes, no. Samantha?
Sam?
Yeah.
Come on up. Started underway. Anna?
You're really
away for field hockey.
Okay, well, that's Coach. Okay.
Jamie Reyes.
Courtney Simon, come on up, Courtney.
Look at those new earpieces.
Is our scorekeeper here, Laura Texan? Scorekeeper. She's not here. And Taylor? Last but not least, if Coach Callahan would come up with the pickup truck. Back here in the fall with the football team. Be nice to him, will you? What you doing? Bring it back. You know, let's get the ladies up here. We can do it all. Yeah, I think we can. Everybody.
No, you represent us.
Okay.
Yo, hold it up and hold it. I'll hold it.
We'll be voting. Tighten up over here.
You have the plaque in the field, so you can
No. Wait, I want to get a finger on it.
Okay. I'm good, yeah.
Did we do that already? We did it. Did you get a photo of us? No. We'll mail them. Yeah,
All right, that'll work then.
I think we'll use the same trophy.
No, you gotta use your plaque.
Come on up, Laura.
Lauren, use your plaque.
I don't think so.
Or just use this softball too.
Where's the plaque?
Good? Okay, great job. Very good. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Don't forget the disclaimer that they believe.
Anybody who wants to stay to hear about the land ordinance, you don't have to leave. A lot of exciting stuff going on tonight.
Thank you.
Good job, good job. I guess they
Everybody's got those fancy cameras.
You take one picture because by the time you finish painting one card, they flash.
See you guys in the fall. Gotta get one in here. It's all cool. I mean, soccer, football.
The same card?
Absolutely.
You can tell they're a bunch of kids. Really?
Well, let's give them a few minutes.
Right, you don't leave, you have to stay.
Little Josh.
Almost not jinx it, okay, almost any.
Okay, gentlemen, we'll begin our business portion, and at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to open to the public for any item not appearing. Motion moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is now open. Anyone who would like to address the Township Committee at this time may do so for the podium. Please give us your name and address for the record if you do so. Seeing none, hearing none. Motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, Mr. Administrator.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed with communications, for the benefit of the public, we received the 2011 audit report for the Township of Hanover, which provides for a review of all the township's independent accounts. We also have the audit report for Hanover Township Fire District Number 2, which is the Whippany Board of Fire Commissioners. The third item is a letter of retirement and resignation submitted by Douglas Salka, received by the Township on July 23rd. The letter is dated July 18th, and it reads as follows: to Hanover Township Administration. I have had a very good career at the Township of Hanover Public Works Department for many years. Over the time with the town, I have learned many trades and been given a very rewarding experience. With regret, I will have to step down due to my recent illness, which I am taking care of with professional help. This will enable me to give complete attention to heal myself. Please accept this letter to Hanover Township as my official 60 days notice for retirement from the Department of Public Works as of today, July 18, 2012. Signed, sincerely, Douglas Salka. In keeping with Township's code and Township policy, we need a motion from the governing body to accept the letter of retirement.
Second.
So moved by Mr. Bruno, seconded by Mr. Capola. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Yes, if I just say a couple words before I give my, I just want to thank Douglas Salka for his many years of service. I believe it's around 20 years, but you can't.
28 years.
28 years of service. As he said in his letter, he has an illness, he's addressing it. I think we should all support him. And the township, I'll let Brian Brand know, the DPW, that we're there for him. And I wish him the best in his endeavors. I have nothing but good things to say, and we will certainly miss him. I'm in favor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fairmont.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Well said, Ken. Yes. Aye.
So accepted and approved. We have the following department reports available for public inspection. They include the report of the Township's Chief Financial Officer, who also serves as the Township Treasurer, and he's provided his report as of July 24th, and this includes all the anticipated revenues which have been budgeted and realized to date. The Chief of Police has submitted his report on all activities conducted by the department during the month of June 2012. Our Superintendent of Public Works, Buildings and Grounds, and Park Maintenance has submitted two reports, one providing a report on all the activities of the sanitation and road divisions, and the second report on the conduct of all activities, all projects by the Park Maintenance Division. Our construction official has submitted his report on all building department permits issued, certificates of occupancy for the period June 1st through June 30th, 2012. And finally, the Township's property maintenance officer has submitted her report on all of her inspections and investigations for the month of June, ending July 25th, 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have from the Township Engineer the following letter recommendations for payment on different projects. The first letter payment recommendation is the roof replacement at the B Meadow Pool Maintenance Building. This is a second payment, final retainage to Gen 2 Contracting, located in Clarksburg, New Jersey, in the amount of $1,215.17. The next payment recommendation on the reconstruction of Eastman's Road. This is a fourth and final payment to Stanzial Construction, located in Bloomfield, New Jersey, in in the amount of $16,022.25. On the resurfacing of the entire length of Saddle Road, a first and final payment to Stanzial Construction, located in Bloomfield, New Jersey, $128,939.21. And then, again, that's the resurfacing of the entire length of Saddle Road. On the automated cantilever gate and the security gate at the Public Works facility, this is a first and final payment to Barsha Brothers Fence Company, located in Garfield, New Jersey, in the amount of $24,500. On a professional services agreement to RBA Group Incorporated, located in Parsippany, this is a second partial payment on the Whippany Road traffic study, the amount due $4,930. And the final professional services agreement, this is the Bee Meadow Park Culvert Replacement Project for professional services to Omland Engineering Associates, located in Cedar Knolls. Total amount due $2,273.75. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would now call your attention to page 2 of the agenda. At the top of the agenda, we have the approval of Township Committee meetings as follows. The regular meetings of May 24th and June 14th, 2012. Executive session and conference work session meeting minutes, which have been reviewed by the Township Attorney, for July 14th, August 11th. These are special and legal conference meetings in 2011. September 8th and 22nd, October 13th and 27th, November 10th and 21st, and December 8th and 19th, all in 2011. Are there any questions from members of the governing body concerning any of the regular or executive session and conference session minutes?
None?
Seeing none, hearing none, may we have a motion on the
So
approval
moved.
of all the minutes?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Faramasca, seconded by Mr. Bruno.
Capola, but that's...
Was it Mr. Capola?
I'll
Sorry.
second it, too.
And we'll second it by Mr. Bruno. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Franciola.
Aye.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue with the agenda, we have ordinances for consideration. The first deals with ordinance number 13-12, which was tabled by the Township Committee on June 28, 2012. The public hearing was closed at that time. And I understand from the governing body that there may be a motion at this time to defeat that ordinance, if that's correct.
So moved. Motion to defeat
We
this.
have a motion by Committeeman Faramasca to defeat. We have a second by Mayor Francioli. And a yes vote will be to defeat. Mr. Schleifer.
Yes.
Mr. Faramasca.
Yes, and although I'm voting yes to defeat this ordinance, I just want to submit that we should recommend that we update our ordinance so that it be more in line with the land use ordinances which we have. So I think we need to perfect what we're doing. So it's a yes.
So noted for the record. Thank you. Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Capola.
Yes.
And Mr. Francioli.
Yes.
Motion has been approved for defeat of ordinance number 13-12, and we'll so note it for the record, and we'll so note Mr. Faramasca's comments. As we continue, ladies and gentlemen, now we have public hearing and consideration of final passage for the following ordinances. The first is docketed as ordinance 14-12, amending and supplementing ordinance number 31-2011, and Chapter 61 of the Code entitled Salaries and Compensation, Personnel Policies, which establishes regulations and rates of compensation for officers and employees' salaries. We have the proof of publication for ordinance 14-12 having been published in the July 5th issue of the Daily Record. Now, at this time, may we have a motion to convene the public hearing?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Schleifer.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bruno. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
Is there anyone in chambers wishing to be heard concerning ordinance number 14-12? Seeing none, hearing none, then may we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
So moved by
Second.
Mr. Capola, seconded by Mr. Bruno and Mr. Schleifer. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
Now, on adoption. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the Township Committee, amending and supplementing ordinance number 31-2011, and Chapter 61 of the Code of the Township entitled Salaries and Compensation, Personnel Policies, which chapter establishes regulations and rates of compensation for the officers and employees of the Township of Hanover, be passed on final reading, and that a notice of the final passage of the ordinance be published in the August 2nd, 2012 issue of the Morris County Daily Record. May we now have a motion on adoption?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Schleifer.
Second.
Second by Mr. Capola. On roll call for adoption, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
So adopted.
Thank you for that wonderful pleasure.
Ordinance number 15-12. This amends and supplements ordinance number 3-12 under section 125-4, entitled Recreation Department Fees, under chapter 125 of the Code of the Township, entitled Fees, with the inclusion of new resident and non-resident reduced pool membership fees for 2012 B Meadow Pool season. We have the proof of publication that the ordinance and the notice of introduction appeared in full in the July 5th issue of the Daily Record. Now, ladies and gentlemen, may we have a motion for public hearing?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Bruno.
Second.
Second by Mr. Schleifer. Mr. Schleifer on
Aye.
roll call. Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
Is there anyone present wishing to be heard concerning ordinance number 15-12?
Seeing
Okay.
none?
Hearing none, seeing none, may we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Schleifer, seconded by Mr. Bruno. And now on roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
Now on adoption. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover, amending and supplementing ordinance number 3-12 and section 125-4, entitled Recreation Department Fees, under chapter 125 of the Code of the Township, entitled Fees, with the inclusion of new resident and non-resident reduced pool membership fees for the year 2012 B Meadow Swimming Pool season, be passed on final reading, and that a notice of the final passage of the ordinance be published in the August 2nd issue of the Morris County Daily Record. May we now have a motion on adoption?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Bruno, seconded by Mr. Francioli. Now on roll call for adoption, Mr. Schleifer,
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca,
Aye.
Mr. Bruno,
Aye.
Mr. Capola,
Aye.
and Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
So adopted. Ordinance number 16-12 is an ordinance that amends and supplements Chapter 166 of the Code of the Township, entitled Land Use Development Legislation, by revising the floor area ratio and improvement coverage regulations in the I-5, IB, and IP2 zone districts. We will note for the record that the ordinance and the notice of introduction appeared in full in the July 5th issue of the Daily Record. We have received notification from the Morris County Department of Planning and Development that in accordance with the municipal land use law, The ordinance was submitted and filed with the Morris County Department of Planning. We'll also note for the record that in accordance with the municipal land use law, the Morris County Planning Board, the Hanover Township Planning Board, and all contiguous municipalities was served with written notice by regular and certified mail on the introduction of the ordinance and tonight's public hearing. Finally, we have the following letter that has been submitted by the Vice Chairman of the Hanover Township Planning Board. It is a letter dated July 10th, 2012, and again, in accordance with the municipal land use law, I am obligated to read this letter verbatim into the record. And it reads as follows. Dear Mr. Giorgio, at its July 10th, 2012 meeting, the Planning Board reviewed and discussed Ordinance 16-12, which had been referred by the Township Committee as required by the Municipal Land Use Law at NJSA 40:55D-26A, which reads as follows, and I quote, prior to the adoption of a development regulation, revision, or amendment thereto, the Planning Board shall make and transmit to the governing body within 35 days after referral a report including identification of any provisions in the proposed development regulation, revision, or amendment which are inconsistent with the master plan and recommendations concerning these inconsistencies and any other matters as the board deems appropriate. End quote. The letter reads as follows. Ordinance number 16-2012 proposes to increase the maximum permitted floor area ratio from 20% to 25% of the lot area and to increase the maximum permitted coverage by improvements from 60% to 65% of the lot area in the I-5, IB, and IP2 zones. In comparing Ordinance 16-12 with the master plan, the Planning Board has determined that Ordinance number 16-12 is inconsistent with the land use element of the master plan for the following reasons. 1. The land use element recommends a floor area ratio of 20% and an improvement coverage of 60% for the I-5 and I-2 and IP2 zones. And 2, the land use element recommends elimination of the IB zone entirely and to replace it with a new OS, Office Services Zone, along Route 10 west of Route 287, and with a revised B, Retail Sales and Services Zone, along Route 10 east of Troy Hills Road. Notwithstanding these inconsistencies, the Board recommends the adoption of Ordinance 16-12 as introduced for the following reasons. 1. The Board has re-examined the basis for floor area ratio and coverage limitations in these districts and has found that a greater floor area and coverage could be achieved on the larger properties in these zones without violating any other provisions of the land use ordinance. 2, for the reasons stated above, the Board has determined that the current floor area ratio and coverage limitations in these districts unduly limit economic development activity on larger parcels in these districts, and that a modest increase in the permitted floor area and coverage limits in these zones would have no significant detriment on the suburban character of the industrial zones or the township as a whole. 3, the Board notes that the standards in the land use elements are based upon the minimum to smaller size lots in the zones, not the larger lots, and that the standards in the plan are consistent with the development capacity for smaller lots. The proposed ordinance amendment will not significantly change the development capacity on smaller lots, since the various ordinance requirements for setbacks, parking, landscaping, and other factors will effectively limit floor area and coverage to amounts that are similar to that stated in the plan. Therefore, The inconsistency of ordinance 16-12 will practically apply only to the larger properties in the zones. 4, finally, the board notes that in the B and OS zones, which the land use element recommends to replace the IB zone, the recommended floor area ratio and coverage limitations are more consistent with ordinance 16-12. The land use plan recommends a 25% floor area ratio and 65% improvement coverage limitation for all uses in the OS zone except hotels and motels. For the B zone, the land use plan recommends a floor area ratio of 25% and improvement coverage of 80% for lots with an area of 40,000 square feet. Thank you for the opportunity to comment on ordinance 16-12. Very truly yours, Robert Nardone, Vice Chairman, Hanover Township Planning Board.
I'll make a motion that we move this, and at the same time, I'd like to recognize the efforts of our planner, Blaise Branchow, as well as the entire planning board, who spent a great deal of time, a great deal of effort, trying to rationalize the FAR and the coverage issues. And so I think this is a step forward in light of Hanover Township's desire to move forward.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Faramasca to convene the public hearing.
Second.
Second by Mr. Francioli. Excuse me. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
Is there anyone in chambers wishing to speak on ordinance 16-12? Hearing none, seeing none, may we now have a motion
So
to
moved.
close the public hearing?
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Faramasca, seconded by Mr. Schleifer. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the land use law also requires that because the planning board has noted inconsistencies with the master plan, that the township committee memorialize all those comments of the planning board and the reasons why it is adopting the ordinance. So at this time, we have a resolution of the township committee setting forth the reasons why it should adopt land use ordinance number 16-12, notwithstanding the planning board's opinion and recommendation that ordinance number 16-12 is inconsistent with the land use element of the master plan. May we have a motion on the approval of the resolution?
Motion.
We have a
So moved.
motion by
Second.
Mr. Faramasca, seconded by Mr. Bruno. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
Now, on adoption of the ordinance, be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover, amending and supplementing Chapter 166 of the Code of the Township, entitled Land Use Development Legislation, by revising the floor area ratio and improvement coverage regulations in the I-5, IB, and IP2 zone districts, be passed on final reading, and that a notice of the final passage of the ordinance be published in the August 2nd issue of the Morris County Daily Record. May we have a motion on adoption?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Faramasca.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Francioli. On roll call for adoption, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramasca.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
So adopted, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, as we continue, ladies and gentlemen, there are several ordinances for introduction at this time which do not appear on your agenda but were discussed by the governing body during its conference work session. The first is docketed as ordinance number 17-12. This is an ordinance of the Township Committee, Township of Hanover, amending and supplementing Chapter 166 of the Code of the Township, entitled Land Use and Development Legislation, by revising the definitions of floor area and floor area ratio, The ordinance will be docketed for public hearing and final passage on the Township Committee agenda on August 23rd at 8:30 p.m. And at that time, any person wishing to be heard will be given the opportunity to be heard when that public hearing is held in this chamber. It is further resolved that the clerk administrator is authorized and directed to advertise the ordinance in full in the Morris County Daily Record in accordance with law. And at this time, may we have a motion for introduction?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Faramaska,
Second.
second by Mr. Schleifer. On roll call for introduction, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Faramaska.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Franciulli.
Aye.
So introduced. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have ordinance number 18-12. This is an ordinance of the Township Committee, amending and supplementing Chapter 166 of the Code, entitled Land Use and Development Legislation, by changing the zone classification of Block 9201, Lot 15, on the tax map, and also known as 62-66 North Jefferson Road, from the R-40 zone district to a new RM5 zone district, and by adopting standards for development in the new RM5 district. This ordinance will be further considered for public hearing and final passage on the 23rd of August at 8:30 p.m. here in the main meeting room of the municipal building. And at that time, any person interested will be given the opportunity to be heard. It is further resolved that the Business Administrator Township Clerk is authorized and directed to advertise the ordinance in full with a notice of introduction in the Morris County Daily Record in accordance with law. May we now have a motion on introduction?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Faramaska,
Second.
second by Mr. Franciulli. On roll call for introduction, Mr. Schleifer,
Aye.
Mr. Faramaska,
Aye.
Mr. Bruno,
Aye.
Mr. Capola,
Aye.
Mr. Franciulli.
Aye.
So introduced. Next ordinance, ladies and gentlemen, for introduction is docketed as ordinance number 19-2012. This is an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover, excuse me, amending and supplementing Chapter 166 of the Code, entitled Land Use and Development Legislation, by revising the regulations for the preservation, removal, and planting of trees. This ordinance as well will be further considered for public hearing and final passage by the Township Committee at its August 23rd regular meeting at 8:30 p.m. here in the main meeting room. And at that time, any citizen wishing to be heard will be given the opportunity to comment. It is further resolved that the Business Administrator Township Clerk is authorized and directed to advertise the ordinance in full with the notice of introduction in the Morris County Daily Record in accordance with law. May we now have a motion for introduction?
So moved.
So moved by
Second.
Mr. Faramaska, seconded by Mr. Bruno. On roll call for introduction, Mr. Schleifer,
Aye.
Mr. Faramaska,
Aye.
Mr. Bruno,
Aye.
Mr. Capola,
Aye.
and Mr. Franciulli.
Aye.
So introduced. And the next ordinance, ladies and gentlemen, and the only other ordinance at this time, is docketed as ordinance 20-12. This is an ordinance of the Township Committee authorizing the purchase of a replacement traffic signal controller cabinet and all related controller equipment to be installed at the intersection of Troy Hills Road and Highland Avenue. This is a township-owned traffic signal. And further authorizing the appropriation of $16,000 for said improvement from the Capital Improvement Fund of 2012 and all prior years. This ordinance will be further considered for public hearing and final passage by the Township Committee during its August 23rd regular meeting And at that time, any person wishing to be heard will be given the opportunity to do so at that 8:30 p.m. meeting. The business administrator, township clerk, is authorized and directed to advertise the ordinance in full with the notice of introduction in the Morris County Daily Record in accordance with law. May we now have a motion for introduction?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Bruno.
Second.
Second by Mr. Schleifer. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Fermaska.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Pola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
So introduced. Just have to wet my whistle.
Take a break.
A lot of ordinances.
A lot of resolutions,
A
too.
lot of ordinances.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now I call your attention to the next portion of business. This is the consent agenda on resolutions on pages 2 and 3. There are no additional resolutions that have been added. Are there any questions concerning any of the resolutions on pages 2 and 3?
Move to be approved.
Hearing none, we have a motion by Committeeman Capola to move. Do we have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Schleifer. On roll call now for approval. Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Fermaska.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Francioli.
Aye.
So approved, and Mr. Francioli has the chore of signing.
Isn't that right? Son of a gun.
Hey, pile.
What a pleasure.
And on page 3, ladies and gentlemen, we now have raffle applications for consideration. Raffle application 2566, Columbian Foundation Incorporated, for an off-premise 50/50 on the 20th of October at the Birchwood Manor at 11 p.m. Raffle application 2567, Community Hope Incorporated, for a 50/50 on-premise on the 25th of October at the Birchwood Manor at 9 p.m. Raffle application 2568, Community Hope Incorporated, and this is for an off-premise raffle on the 25th of October at the Birchwood Manor at 9 p.m. Raffle application 2569, Community Hope Incorporated, an on-premise raffle on the 25th of October at the Birchwood Manor between 6 and 9 p.m. Raffle application 2570, Villa Walsh Academy Home School Association, for a 50/50 on-premise on the 9th of November at the Hanover Marriott Hotel between 6 and 10 p.m. Raffle application 2571, Villa Walsh Academy Homeschool Association, off-premise raffle on the 9th of November at the Hanover Marriott Hotel between 6 and 9 p.m. Raffle application 2572, Villa Walsh Academy Homeschool Association, a tricky tray on the 9th of November at the Hanover Marriott Hotel between 6 and 10 p.m. And finally, raffle application 2573, Junior Matrons of Morristown Incorporated, on an off-premise raffle on the 10th of November at the Birchwood Manor between 11:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. That does it on raffles. Any questions?
Gentlemen?
Hearing none, may we have a motion by Mr. Capola.
Second.
Second by Mr. Schleifer. On roll call, Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Mr. Fermaska.
Aye.
Mr. Bruno.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor.
Aye.
And more to sign.
More to sign.
Finally.
Son of
So
a
the
gun.
administrator and the chief municipal finance officer are not taken away to prison. We need to pay the bills. $5,369,631.03.
So moved.
So moved.
Let's
We
pay
have
the
a
bills.
second.
Second.
Going once. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm tired.
Very good. Hanover,
Thanks, Joe.
Hanover remains solvent. That's good.
Biggest thing.
That's good. Okay, Joe, thank you. That's a very lengthy agenda with
Thank you there.
ordinances, and I'm glad you got through that.
Kept me busy.
All right, gentlemen, is there any other comment from the Township Committee at this time?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
George.
No?
Go ahead.
Joseph? Joseph, what am I, George?
George. Yeah, I would like to, I would like to compliment, on our police department. On the 14th of this month, we had a break-in that ended up with the apprehension of a suspected individual. I would like to note that it was absolutely a collective effort between, our township, Morris Township Police Department, Sheriff's Department with the K-9, Morris Plains Police, East Hanover, and our state police and helicopters. I was very happy the chief gave me a call, and I would like to, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Chief, one of our own patrolman, Gundersdorf, yeah, he made the apprehension. But the police officers in town that were involved were Sergeant Mike Locke, Patrolman Williams, Patrolman Carpenter, Patrolman Herman, Patrolman Martino, Patrolman Weaver, Patrolman Quinn, Patrolman Gunderhoff, Patrolman Zavaglia, Dispatcher Brian Capral, Detective Glenn Yanovich, Captain Sean Weldon, and our Chief, Stephen Gallagher. I really want to thank these guys. You know, a lot of times we take for granted the work that they do, but this was a real good one for us. It showed how alert we were in town and how we were able to apprehend the individual. So, you know, I thank you, Chief. I thank all of the folks that were involved, and I'm really proud of the department and all the work. Thank you.
Very nice. Very good. Ken?
I'm very excited to announce the new garbage truck has been delivered.
Yep.
Yay.
And it's going to
finally
get
here.
into a garage shortly.
The men have been out training in the last couple of days with the manufacturer's rep. I went out today and watched them train, and pretty exciting stuff. This is going to work.
I hear it
can
went.
tell.
I hear it went very well.
It's outstanding.
You were in a street environment when you were using it, and
Yeah, in fact, the street I was on today, I was told by our DPW superintendent, Brian, that the men said it can't work on that street, so that's what they chose for a training, that street. And they also park cars in the street, created an obstacle course, so the vehicle had to do a double reach into a neighbor's yard, and they put a can in, and they were able to extract that can and dump it and put it back. And on the cul-de-sac, everyone was concerned about the turning radius and how we're going to get the cans picked up, and there was absolutely no issue. I mean, it was quick. I have it on my iPad. I have some video if anybody's interested in watching it.
that's great.
It was nice stuff. Now, I believe it's going to start August 1st. The cans are going out Monday, I believe, Joseph?
Monday and Tuesday.
Cans will be delivered the 30th and 31st, and then the actual pickup will begin on August the 8th.
August the 8th. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, it's. I think it's an important comment on the cans. Once you do get the cans, the new can, you must start using it. We will not be able to pick up the conventional cans anymore.
That's correct. And in addition to that, if any residents chooses, they can purchase a second can. So if they feel they're going to have a lot of garbage, then, you know, it's their option to produce. The cans are large enough, I think, to accommodate what they'll need to do. But if someone wants to feel more comfortable to get a second can, they can certainly do that. I think that the first benefit we're going to see right off the kickoff for the start here is it's going to eliminate our Saturday overtime garbage pickup right from the start.
Okay.
So we're talking about, at the minimum, 6 people, about 4.5, 5.5 hours overtime, about 30 hours of overtime weekly, times 52. That's going to be a great savings.
That's a significant start. Yeah.
And not to mention, as we had spoke about in the past, the injuries, the lifting injuries are all going to be eliminated.
Workman's comp issues, et cetera.
I think this is going to be what Hanover Township needs moving forward to keep down our costs. This is going to be one of those items that's going to help us out, and we're going to start seeing that in another year to come. So I wanted to thank everyone, Joe, everyone on the Township Committee who supported this idea. I think this is what's going to help us out financially. In the next couple of years, we're going to see a real benefit from this. We're going to get some of those other things that we're looking forward into the budget that we couldn't quite get squeezed in this last year or year before. You know, this is going to be a substantial savings.
Will any men be replaced, or, what's gonna happen to the men who are existing working on those
Well,
trucks, Ken?
Currently, our plan is to keep everyone. No one's going to be replaced. We will probably, over the next couple of years, lose some men from attrition, from retirement. We have them in the retirement age. And there's been talk about some of them, but that's their personal, I don't want to say who, but there's been a lot of talk about some of the men that
Great.
have many years of service about it's they're getting close. And
So
when
we'll
they decide,
redeploy.
we'll redeploy those
Great.
people in other areas. So I think it's going to be a win-win. I think in the long term, we may be able to look for some reduction in personnel, but I think we need to evaluate that once we get the system fully in place. For now, Mr. Salka has said he's going to retire. I think we should replace him for now and not cut back on our, what we have in our budget, and then look in the future to see where that savings is going to come from. I think we're going to realize that.
I think it's important, this truck obviously will be Hanover's first with the automated one-arm, and we're going to have an experience record with it very shortly. But just for the public's knowledge, this truck will not be used throughout the entire township at this point.
At this point, it's going to be, if you have the Wednesday, Saturday pickup, you're going to either have the same pickup on Wednesday,
Right.
once a week, and the route is split, so the truck will also do Thursday, some of the normal Wednesday. People have already been notified or will be notified, so they'll understand when their pickup days are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's going to be the Whippany Road East is going to be Thursday. They usually were Wednesday, Saturday.
Okay.
And Cedar Knolls, if you were picked up on Wednesday and Saturday, you'd be picked up on Wednesday.
The regular Wednesdays that week.
Right. We're having ongoing discussions. We do, as part of the purchase, we also, I'm pleased, very pleased with it.
We're excited over it. We're looking forward to an opportunity when we can all even see it in action. So
Right. Sure.
Maybe we'll set up a time when those committeemen that want to see this piece of apparatus work. And
I can set that up with Brian.
That'd be great.
I just had one other item. I want to thank Silvio and his department. I know Silvio last Wednesday was scheduled to be at a charity event that I was attending, and the tax bills came in.
Uh-huh.
And he stayed along with his department and some volunteers. I think we should give him the opportunity right now to mention, if he has anything usually you have something to say about that. I'm not sure if you're prepared for that, so I hate to put you on the spot, but there's some people that volunteered their time. One of them was your fiance, I know, when I walked in the office.
She was told she had a volunteer time, so she came in that day as well.
Smart lady.
But I believe former employee Mrs. Courtwright was there.
Actually, Mrs. Courtwright, I think, was involved with the volunteer event. So actually, it was just Samantha came in from her maternity leave and helped stuff the bills. She came in a week early for one day to help us. Kelly Shantz has been working in my department. She's normally in administration. She helped us, along with Patty Shea and the several ladies in the general office, Kathy Iacuzzi, Althea. They all helped out, Margaret, and even the Storage Authority helped. They sent their secretary down, Lauren Abrams. So everybody chipped in, and we got everything out in one day.
That was great, and thanks. The township does appreciate. I know you were scheduled to be off that day on a charity event. And, I know when the tax bills come in, they need to go out, especially since this cycle
Since
is
you
so
had $5
late.
million we had to pay.
Ken, in the same respect, we got 1,400 letters out to all the people on the routes for the garbage containers in one day.
Yes.
And that's thanks to Kathy and Althea and Margaret. They did that single-handedly.
So we thank them as well. The staff has been doing a great job and keeping up with the workload. We appreciate it, really do.
That's good. John, you have any comment?
Yes. The Environmental Commission is seeking new members for the Green Team. This is the action team, the people who go out and make it happen. There are events throughout the year. Really encourage people to get involved in it. You may have seen them out during the summer concerts on Monday nights. There's a table and a few of the volunteers staff that table. They'll also be meeting on August 6th, Monday night at 7 p.m. at the library. So if there's any interest, you want to get involved within the township and contribute to our environmental success, please consider joining the Green Team.
Thank you, John.
In addition, the Economic Development Council has been very active for the past few years and working very closely, hand in glove with the Township Committee. some big news is coming to Hanover Township. And the big news for Hanover Township is that Hanover Township will soon have a world-class super market and super center, which will be hosting the franchise called Wegmans, which is probably one of the premier retailers in the East Coast today, something which is highly desirable for our township. The area which Wegmans has signed a lease is located off of Route 10 and Ridgedale Avenue, in what they call the eastern portion of the Prudential campus. So we're very excited. We're very interested. There was a process before this will happen. We know that. We've gone through that with another world-class retailer, ShopRite, which will be on Hanover Avenue. But it's really good news for Hanover Township. It shows the quality of the businesses that are very interested in making Hanover their home.
All right, John, thank you. Yeah, we are absolutely ecstatic over the announcement that Wegmans made along with Matt Cali Group and Mitch Hirsch, the CEO. They did sign a lease. Public, I know, in general, they've been asking every single one of us probably around this table, when they're going to be able to get a shopping cart and go down that aisle. And I'm one of them. But I think for the public's benefit, a project of this size and scope, by the way, this is a 144,000 square foot facility. This will be the first in Morris County. This will be a flagship store, as Deputy Mayor Faramos commented. But we are looking at a window of close to 2 years before the doors may open on that. But we'll do all we can to move it along very nicely. Did want to make another comment. I think it's worth doing. Take a second here, and then we'll motion for to open the floor again. George mentioned an incident that happened in town not long ago at Academy Estates, and our police department did. To say a yeoman job is an understatement of apprehending the individuals involved. But one other thing should be noted, and it's part of our home protection. This individual gained access to the home through an automobile that was left open. Entered that automobile, used the garage door opener from that automobile to get into the house, and then got into the house. And thankfully, no one was harmed in this matter, and the individual was apprehended. This isn't Mayberry, folks. Lock the car. Lock the garage door when you leave. We have a tendency to leave the garage doors open, and we've always enjoyed a very safe community. Still do. But I think an ounce of prevention and caution at this time is in order. I think it has to be. So thank you. Motion to open the floor once again. Oh, I'm sorry. Bob, did you want
Real quick on the recreation side of things, the summer concert series, we have had two very successful events. Unfortunately, we were rained out this past Monday, but we will be going ahead with the regularly scheduled event on the 30th, which is next Monday, and then the makeup date will be August 6th, so we want to make sure we publicize that. And we do have our superintendent looking at potentially moving or having available an indoor facility so that we wouldn't have to cancel going forward. But for now, we have next Monday and the following Monday. The first two have been very well received, and we invite everyone to come out to the Bee Meadow football field facility, 7:30 till 9 o'clock the next 2 Mondays.
The B Street just was.
B Street just was, and we have the Motown Sounds coming up Monday.
The Motown Sounds.
Not to be missed.
All right.
Yay. Okay. Sounds good to me. Okay, thank you, Bob. Any other comments from the committee? Hearing none, motion to open the floor once again to the public.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the floor once again is open. Anyone would like to address the Township Committee may do so from the podium, giving us your name and address for the record. Seeing none, hearing none.
Yeah, just, so that we all have an understanding in regard to Wegmans. Wegmans has signed a lease of intent. There's a whole process that has to go on, which the mayor spoke about. It has to go through planning. Planning will evaluate it. So this is not a done deal. Not a done deal in any means. There will be a whole presentation. It will be evaluated. But the good news is there's at least interest and intent on their part to come to Hanover Township.
That's a good red flag, and not a done deal to the extent that there is a process of approvals that Wegmans will have to meet and go through, and I fully appreciate Deputy Mayor's comments on that. But we're strongly on our way. As I said, we have signed leases in hand, and we're good to go. So from that standpoint. Okay, no comments from the public, no one that I do see. A motion to close?
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion for adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn. Okay. Now we've got just a little bit more of a work conference and we're done.
I think we can.
Not much. A lot of,
Jerry, when are you going to Litchfield?